News Channel 5 network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Nick Barris coming to you live and direct from the News Channel 5 studios here in downtown Nashville. So this is a live show. We're going to get the phone number up. You're invited to join in the conversation. Stick with us because we're doing a multifaceted show today, as we have on numerous occasions since this whole coronavirus pandemic hit, where we're going to be doing Skype interviews on a number of subjects I think important to you. And we're going to start things off here right off the bat. As we know, unemployment, an issue as far as so many people losing their jobs and trying to get in to apply and get that benefit. And of course, the Department of Labor here in the state of Tennessee working as hard as it can to get the money to the people who need it. We're going to start the show this morning with Chris Cannon, a former colleague of mine here at News Channel 5, who has now been for several years with the Communications Department of the Department of Labor. Good morning, Chris. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Nick. Good morning.
Excellent. Well, listen, thank you for joining us. We've got you just for this one segment, and I saw first thing this morning you sent out another update. I don't have the exact number, but it seems like over the last 3 weeks now, an unprecedented number. Is it almost a 250,000 claims for unemployment in Tennessee?
For the week ending April 4th, so last Saturday, there were 112,000 more Tennesseans who applied for unemployment. The week before that, it was 94,000. The week before that, it was 39,000, bringing the 3-week total to just under 250,000 unemployment claims for Tennessee.
Wow. Okay. So clearly how busy you are on all this, and I'm sure you've heard it, and you know, you're doing what you can to get the monies out. A lot of people have said they've had issues getting through on the phone, and they're confused, and then online. Talk a little bit about what some of the problems are those applying have faced, and what you suggest they do, and what you've been able to do there with Department of Labor.
Sure, Nick. First, though, this week alone we'll pay close to 100,000 Tennesseans nearly $30 million in unemployment benefits. So benefits are going out. We are paying the benefit out to the tune of $30 million. And to give you some context, the 3 weeks prior to the pandemic started, we had perhaps just under 10,000 claims and a little less than $4 million in benefits paid out. So you can see the magnitude. Wow. And how much it has increased in just a 3-week period. So the system is working. It's not without its bugs, and how could it not be when you're putting 2,000, 3,000, 4,000% higher usage on it? We did do a capacity upgrade to the servers just as this started so we could keep things going. And we're in the middle of doing another capacity server now, adding more servers to that system. And unfortunately, it's not something you can just run down to Best Buy and purchase. It's something that has to be ordered, and we had to get on an essential priority list to get that equipment delivered to our vendor. We are in the process of doing that now, so that will add expanded capacity to the Jobs for TN.gov system, so it is more responsive when people go in. We have, at any given time, I heard a number the other night at midnight, we had 5,000 people using the system at midnight.
Wow.
So at any given time, there are tens of thousands of people on the system using that. So it is not responsive at times, and we understand that, and we're doing things to fix that. Something that'll start either today or tomorrow. Say you go to buy tickets at TPAC for a big show when Hamilton was in town, and there's going to be an onslaught of people trying to get on that system at one time. They put you in a waiting room, and it tells you you're this number, and you will be able to access the system at this time. We're going to try that system. We're going to try that so there's a limited number of people on the system at a time, keeping it more responsive so the folks who are in that room can get in there and use the computer and get off quickly and then let the next person in. So it's kind of a one-in, one-out system. We think this will save people time because they won't be on the computer trying to go page to page and it just not being as responsive as it should be. And if it says, hey, come back in 2 hours, we'll let you into the computer system so you can get things done efficiently, then they can go about their day, do their chores, do whatever they're doing at home, and then come back when the computer says it's going to be ready and have a much better time doing that.
I think that's a great idea, and I know exactly what you're talking about, what we went through with Hamilton. As far as the $600 that's supposed to be an addition, I know the state has its own unemployment fund, and it's up to, what is it, $275 a week maybe. Now, the $600, is that being included in the money you said that's already being sent out, or are you still waiting for guidance from the governor and at the federal level on that? When will people see that?
That's a federal program, and we just got guidance from the United States Department of Labor last Saturday. So we took all those rules, and unemployment has so many rules. It's a very complicated system, and the laws are very complicated. And then you throw the CARES Act on top of just typical unemployment, and now it offers pandemic unemployment assistance. And it also offers the pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, which is that extra $600. So we literally have to reprogram the entire system, because typically if you're self-employed, if you're, own your own business, if you're an Uber driver or a 1099 contract worker, you were not typically available to have unemployment because employers pay into the unemployment tax and no one's paying in that tax. But the CARES Act changes that. So we have to go in there, and we've been working on this now for 5 days, to go in there and reprogram the entire computer, rewrite the entire computer, rewrite the language on the computer. We wish we could just flip the switch and have that happen instantaneously. But the reality of the situation is you can't do that. Computers don't work that way. And we just got this guidance, and we still haven't gotten the money from the federal government yet. So as soon as that computer system's up and running, and as soon as we have the money in the bank that we can actually pay out that extra $600, Tennesseans who are approved for unemployment will get a maximum of $275 from the state, and then they will get that $600 per week. So someone who has the max benefit in Tennessee could receive up to $875 per week before taxes are taken out.
Okay, and as you said, for those who are self-employed or Uber drivers, they would not get that up to $275, but they would be eligible for the $600. Is that how I read that?
No, they'll get both.
Okay.
They'll now be available because of the CARES Act. They will be available for pandemic unemployment assistance. So now they will get that $275 max. The average claim is about $240 per week, plus the $600. No, they'll get that money for sure. Okay,
and you said it's reprogramming. I can't imagine the task that's involved with that, but is there a timetable, and is there anything that would be, folks are getting some checks right now. Now they're just getting the state monies. It wouldn't be back pay, would it? It'll just start when it starts, and what do you think, a few weeks, months?
No. The $600 will be retroactive.
Okay.
It'll be retroactive back to April 4th.
Excellent. Okay, and any idea when you think that money might? You're just saying you have to get the computer up and running and all of that, maybe a few more weeks, days? What do you think?
We don't have a specific date, and I hate to give out a specific date because then if we don't hit it, we'll hear about that. But it is going to be very soon. And if we have one part of the program finished before the other, say we have the $600 program finished before the pandemic unemployment insurance, we'll just start sending out that $600. As soon as we are ready to flip the switch, we will flip that switch and get that much needed benefit out to the folks in Tennessee. So we are hoping it is just days. Okay,
and this is kind of a basic question, but in these instances, are these checks mailed out? Are they direct deposit? What kind of information do people need to make sure they have provided you so you can send the monies to them?
Sure. The day of the unemployment check was gone a long time ago. It is either, and most people get it directly deposited into their bank account, or it can be a debit card. So you choose that when you do your application. You choose if you want to receive the debit card, and then we will send you a debit card in the mail, or you give us your banking information, and then we'll just directly deposit that right into whatever account you want that money to go into.
And I had a couple questions. Again, some of this is basic stuff, regardless of with the pandemic or not. How long do you have to have been working to be able to collect unemployment?
Depends. There really are so many caveats in the unemployment system, but your weekly benefit is based on your 18 months prior work history. So whatever your wage history is over the past 18 months, that is used to calculate how much your weekly benefit amount will be. Again, that weekly benefit average for most Tennesseans is $240. The minimum is $120. So most people get around that $240 before taxes. The max is $275, and after federal taxes are taken out, that's typically around $240. Federal taxes will also be taken out of that $600. So, you'll get around $750 cleared about. I'm not a tax accountant, but that's exactly how much you'll get per week once you are approved for unemployment right now.
Interesting. When you think about it, really, Chris, some people are going to be collecting more on unemployment with that extra benefit than they were making on the job.
I think a reporter who sent it to me did the calculations, and it's close to like a $41,000 a year job.
It's good money. And so just so I'm clear too, I've had some folks, including for instance, my brother's girlfriend, worked for about 6 months, has since lost her job. Over that 6 months, based on it, I don't know what she would have drawn on unemployment, but is she eligible to apply?
Say that one more time. She lost her job 6 months ago?
No. She just recently did, but she only worked for about 6 months and has now lost her job because of the pandemic. Would she be eligible to apply, having only worked 6 months?
She would be eligible. Anybody can apply.
Okay.
And that's the first thing we need to say. Anybody is eligible to apply, and it's a good idea to apply because then we'll go through and we'll adjudicate your claim and look for eligibility, and perhaps you are eligible, and if you're not, we'll let you know that. But right now, with the different programs that are out there, it is a good chance anyone who is out of work will apply and get unemployment. It's not a guarantee, but there's a good chance. So definitely apply, go through the process, and find out. I'm not exactly sure. That is not my division. I've learned more about unemployment in the last 4 years than I ever thought I would know, and especially in the last 3 weeks.
Sure.
But I don't have all the answers.
Okay, no, but I think your response there is a good one. If you're not sure, it does not hurt to apply. Do it. And I think you're right. In these circumstances, most people will have a good shot. Chris Cannon, thanks for joining us this morning. I know how busy you are, but I really appreciate you coming on and answering some of those real basic questions for folks.
Good talking to you, Nick.
Okay, take care, Chris. Take care of yourself. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll kind of go over some of what he just talked about. We can also touch on some of the more recent developments with regard to the coronavirus pandemic here, both in the Nashville area and in Tennessee as a whole. Take a few of your phone calls if some of that didn't seem clear to you. We can also touch on some developments with regard to the stimulus plan. And then we've got another guest coming on after this next segment later in the show to talk about what happens and what kind of help is out there for those of you who have lost your job. You're maybe applying for unemployment, but when you lose your job, you also might have lost your health insurance, and what kind of options are out there, because let's face it, in addition to all this pandemic stuff, hey, any one of us could get sick at any given moment and need health insurance. There's help there, so we'll touch on that as well. So stick with us. If you have a question or comment, give us a call, 737-7587. We'll hit your calls in the next segment.